All right. Hello, everyone. So, make sure we're all good to go here. Right. So I've just finished a packet tracer and realized that I didn't record it for you all. So, no worries. I have a lot more to do. A lot more to do. So we'll finish this one out. Basically, the base what the point of this was to go into this schema. This is the schema here. And this is Cisco Packet Tracer 4.2.7. You can see that. So to go into, this is the name of it here, this schema, and at first these two triangles were red. So inside of this schema, we went into S1 and we set up some VLANs that you can see on here, and I'll paste them back over here, or I'll show you over here how we did it. So I went in here and accidentally I created VLAN 1, but I needed VLAN 10 and VLAN 30, so I created those. And then went into the interface, which are these over here, these different ports on the side, and assigned them to each VLAN. In order to do that, you have to put in switch port mode access and then switch port access VLAN 10. So I did that on both of those. First of all, to activate switch port mode access, and then to take that activation and put onto a VLAN, which was 10 for the port F011, and then for VLAN 30, it was port F06 that both needed to be activated. So the instructions always want you to go through and verify that it was set up, did the verification, came back, and it wanted me to go to PC1 and ping PC3. Well, the couple of times that I did that, it didn't work. So the first time was here. And after I pinged it, it said, well, why didn't it work? And it was like, oh yeah, we never configured anything on the router at that point in time. So you have to go to the router and configure these new things that we kind of haven't gone over in class. Maybe he did it on his PowerPoints, but basically, let's go back to the packet tracer itself. Or these are the instructions from the class. So this is what the router configuration is here for each of these. And I was like, why are these 0.10, 0.30? This is new, the way that it's set up. Normally it's G0/1, G0/2, G0/3 for all of your router interfaces with the IP addresses. So now they're .10, .30, and I haven't gone back over the slides from the PowerPoint that he did in class on Thursday, but I'm guessing that the decimals have a significance, meaning that they are sub interfaces that are part of the encapsulation. So R1 is assumed to be G00. So these are sub interfaces. I'm going to put that here in my own notes for when I go back and study. These are sub interfaces that are inside of G001. So I'm going to make this a different color here. Hopefully it'll let me move this down and make that green because that lets me know that that's my note. And I want to make all of this yellow because that stands out to me when I'm going back to study. So sub interfaces look like this. Uh-oh. Trying to get this to highlight, but it won't. There we go. All right. So it didn't work. So after we set up the sub interfaces, it said go through again and try to ping PC3 from PC1. So this is PC1, did that, still didn't work. So I'm thinking and I'm reading and I'm like, oh, we never set up the switch port. The trunk, sorry, we never set up the trunk. The trunk has to be set up on the switch. So go back over here, go to the switch, and set up the trunk. And to set up the trunk, you have to do, where did it go? So that was creating the VLANs, and then down here, you verify that they're there. Yes, yay, they're there. Now show interface trunk. There was nothing there. It's like, oh yeah, Bia, you didn't actually set up the trunk. So if you put in the show command for interface trunk, show interface trunk, and there's no trunk, it's just gonna come back like this. So I learned that quickly. I was like, oh, wait a minute, something's not working. So went back into configure S1 or switch 1, and we're configuring it on G01. And I was like, how do we know we're configuring on G01? I go back over here to the schema and I look at it and I'm like, okay, hold on. So G01 is right here. If I just hover over this, I'm not even clicking on it. If I just hover, it'll show you all of the interfaces. And the ports that are on here. But also, when you type in show VLAN, it'll show you the ports also. So at first, when we did show VLAN, you can see G01 right there. Okay, so it says to configure a trunk. I guess in the networking world, I'm brand new to the networking world, so I'm guessing that you just automatically choose one first because it makes sense in the numerical order of just how in America how we number things. You start with one. So interface G01. When I did the research, that was what you want to start with. Interface G01 switch port mode trunk says, okay, we're going to make this port a trunk. Okay. And so it changes it from being down to now it's up, meaning it's active. So you get out of that and you go to show VLAN, and all of a sudden it's not there anymore. And so the instructions ask, well, why is it not there anymore? And it disappears because now it is a trunk. So when you go in, and now I'm at the part of the instructions that say show interface trunk, I think is what it wants me to do. Yes, because we already did VLAN. So now I'm going to go here, enable, and that gets me here, and I go show NT trunk. And now I see that G01 has been set up as a trunk. It's on. The encapsulation is under 802.1Q, and the status is it's trunking, and it's on the native VLAN 1. So that's a question that I have for the professor is, do we want to keep that on native VLAN 1? Because I know that it's a trunk, and a trunk carries the encapsulated traffic, but the traffic is on VLAN 1. Do we want to keep that there? Because that's the default. VLAN 1 is your default. It's kind of like you get a router from Best Buy and you open it up and you connect it to your house, and everything on that router is on the default ports from Netgear or whoever created your router. And you don't necessarily want it on the default ports because everybody who manufactured that knows what port that's on, and all the hackers know that port too because they research that stuff and they find out. So you want to create a new VLAN for that traffic to go through. So that's a question that I have for the professor. So I'm going to go over here to my Word document, go down, and I'm going to say show the interface trunk. I'm going to put a note here. So the new trunk is on the native or default VLAN 1. That it's the default. I'm going to highlight that in yellow and ask him about that when I turn this in. Okay, so show interface trunk. You see that it's there, and you see all the good information about, let me go back over here for you, all the good information about the spanning tree and the management domains 1, 10, and 30, or what it can manage and the traffic that will go through it. And the last question that we have is, if the configurations are correct, PC1 and PC3 should be able to ping their default gateways and each other. So paste screenshot of successful pings here. And I'm going to go to PC1. The last command I've been trying to ping this whole time is this one. See if it pings. Ah, there we go. Awesome. So now it's finally going through. That's how you know that it's going through. It's showing your TTL. It's going to this IP address, 172.17.30.10. Took 32 bytes to get there. Tells you the time that it took, and it's not timing out anymore. So yay, it pinged. So he wants to see a successful ping of that. PC1 and PC3 should be able to ping their default gateways and each other. Okay, so the default gateway for PC1 is, oh, it's over here in my table. So the default gateway for PC1 is, oh, I copied it off the table, 172.17.10.1. Awesome, it's able to ping its default gateway. And we're going to go to PC3, command prompts, and we're going to go ping, oh, and it's 172.17.10.10. Awesome sauce. And now we're going to ping its default gateway. Oops, 172.17.30.1. Pinging, baby. Awesome sauce. All right. So there you have it. It's working. It's pinging. We're in business. And your girl got a run 100. So exciting. So this one is done. Just take some thinking and trying to figure out everything from the new stuff that we're learning. It would be great. It's so awesome if this was like the end all be all. But we have how many more weeks of this class? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more weeks. So be looking for some more packet tracers from me as I go through and learn all of this information. I thank you for watching. I hope this has helped you learn a little bit more about how our devices all connect and talk. PCs, switches, routers, a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes in our corporations that you may not really be thinking about unless you are someone who has switches and routers in your home. All right. Thank you all again for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.